What's going on, guys? It's John here from Hot Hockey to give you news about the Leafs, and I think fans are panicking right now. People are kind of freaking out. People are confused. I'm here just kind of to settle the dust and make things straight for people that don't know the story yet. So, practice Friday morning. Frederik Andersen, Michael Hutchinson, Joseph Woll. Where is Garrett Sparks? So it does get confirmed that Michael Hutchinson gets called up from the Leafs, or gets called up from the Marlies to the Leafs. McAdam gets called from the Growlers to the Marlies, and everyone's like, what is going on with Sparks? So here's what's going on. Sparks, obviously, his confidence is down. The trust with the organization is down. His statistics are down. He's not doing well. And obviously, I think this team in front of him for the Leafs, as much as they might care about the guy, and looking at the human being aspect, obviously Sparks, in every aspect, seems to be really down to earth. He has always owned up to his mistakes, so that has been no issue, and I think the players acknowledge that. But on the ice, it's a different game, and it comes down to just having trust for the goalie himself, not the person, but the goalie. And as a goalie, his confidence is down, and he hasn't played well. And so now the plan will be that Hutchinson will be the new backup for at least the next 10 days, per Mike Babcock. And Garrett Sparks is going to work with goalie coaches, Steve Briere and John Elkin, to try to improve his confidence and his skill level. Obviously, you can't. He's in his prime right now, so you can't really improve a lot of the raw skill. You just have to, I guess, work with what he has. And I think Garrett Sparks has a lot of tools to be a good, at least backup goalie in the NHL. This year, I think a lot of people would argue this guy is no more than an AHL. 8-9-1 record, about 900 save percentage. I would say about a 315 goals against average based off what I've seen. And besides beating the Pittsburgh Penguins and getting a tight one against the Columbus Blue Jackets, all his other victories are against, to say it in light, bad teams. The rest of his losses are against playoff teams or a couple mediocre teams, and it kind of just proves the confidence level and just kind of proves that when the Leafs need a big game, Sparks hasn't been there. The record of McElhinney last year, and a lot of people will say, why did they get rid of McElhinney? They should have kept Sparks. The record of McElhinney would have had the Leafs either tied with Boston or ahead once the season ended. And I think looking at that, obviously a lot of fans get frustrated. You really can't tell because obviously schedules are different, teams are different. But looking at McElhinney with Carolina, obviously a lot of fans look at that as a big mistake. Do I think it was a mistake? Probably. Obviously going into the playoffs, you don't really want to experiment too much. I think Sparks going into the season was kind of an experiment. He wasn't proven at the NHL level, just at the AHL level, and we've talked about it, how there's a big gap between those two leagues. So McElhinney was proven. He did so well for the Leafs last year in terms of where he was coming from, and he hasn't had this crazy great career either. And now with the Hurricanes, a team that's going to the playoffs, going back to the playoffs, McElhinney was a huge part of that. And I think people look at that and you need a veteran. And Andersen is probably getting into that veteran category. He's in his prime right now, but having a veteran backup goalie probably would have been huge, and McElhinney was that. So we'll see Michael Hutchinson for at least the next 10 days. So that will be going into the Bruins series. We'll see what happens after that. In my opinion, I can't see Sparks donning a Leafs jersey on ice again this year. That would be two aspects. One, something happening to Andersen, knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And number two, if they do decide to replace Sparks with Hutchinson. So thank you guys for watching this video. Crazy news, kind of. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think that obviously a plan going to the playoffs is just to have your starting goalie play all the games. There's no back-to-backs, especially in the Eastern Conference. Most of the travel is pretty tight. If the Leafs go on to play Tampa, obviously that travel will be a little harder. But in terms of Toronto, Boston, the travel's not too hard either. So Andersen, obviously, to start. Hutchinson's going to be behind him, and Sparks, for the next 10 days, will be working to get his confidence back. So this was John from Hot Take Hockey. Subscribe if you're new. Hit a thumbs up. Comment your opinions. Have a good one. Peace out.